Before we begin, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Chibs, and I review stuff that gets me fired up.
This film is going to be a bit different because it's less of a review and more of a general experience. You'll see what I mean.
What is this guy? Corn what?
Need what? What is he saying?
Cornwall!
Hey, what do you want?
Cornwall!
What's Cornwall?
Hey man, have you heard the Cornwalls?
No. What is it?
I just need me some Cornwall, man.
I don't have any Cornwall, but what do you want?
How about some change?
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
we'll give you some
Need
change. We'll give you some change.
Oh man,
buddy.
appreciate you.
Here you go, man.
Oh, appreciate
Cornwall
you.
for life.
Cornwall.
Cornwall!
Cornwall!
Appreciate you, man.
Cornwall!
Later, bro.
Cornwall!
Cornwall 4!
Yeah, baby!
Cornwall!
Interesting.
So how did we get here? How did it come to this? Let's roll back and start with my media room.
What's up, guys? This is my media room. This is where I ingest movies and so much music lately. And I wanted to have a quick chat about the dimensions and my speaker's situation and my electronic situation. So we'll start with dimensions. We've got 22.8 feet depth. We've got 14.7 feet wide. It's not a true rectangle because as you can see, there's like weird bulkheads, and this is a basement, and it just is what it is. But it's actually a great room for this, and I've been really happy with it. When we moved in, we put in wall-to-wall carpet with this really squishy underpadding, which turned out to be great for acoustics. So I'm really happy in that regard. I still want to do some treatment to the walls, but that's in the future. Anyhow, join me and I'll show you the rest. All right, so as you can see, we've got 3 lazy boys covered in blankets. And then I've got a big honking TV that I love. And then over here is my rack. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. So bottom left, we've got the Blue Sound Node. I did a review on that. Right next to it is a Singzer SU6 digital to digital converter. Really interesting piece of kit. I am currently testing it, and a review is eventually going to be incoming. Above that, we've got the Denafrips Venus 2 that I just did a review on, and it's fantastic and I love it. And then above that, we've got our Hegel H190 integrated amplifier. I freaking love this and did a review on that as well. And then above that on the very top, if you can see, I've got a Wi-Fi router that is actually an access point, and it connects to my main router upstairs. This nook is a couple feet deep, and everything is just sort of where I could see it from the couch. That's why it's sort of at the end of it. Okay, so there we go. You see how I have this weird wall extending? Yeah, it's awkward. So it's not truly 14.7 feet across. It is over there, but that doesn't really help me much. So this TV is an 85-inch Sony, and when I watch movies, I basically use that Sonos Arc that you may or may not see below, right here. And then in the corner, I've got a Sonos Sub, and in the rear of the room, I have 2 Play 5s. And that's usually how I watch movies because it gives me Atmos, and it actually sounds great in here. As far as music is concerned, we've got the KEF LS50 Metas, and they have been awesome. They have to be about 4 feet from the wall, and the problem with that, there are 2 problems. One of them is larger than the other. The wires, first of all, are unsightly. They don't look great, and every time my dog runs through here, because he's crazy and he runs at top speed, I worry that he's going to trip on them and, I don't know, make a speaker fall on him and hurt him. And that is not something I want. The other problem is this. So if Mrs. Chibs or one of my kids is watching with me, this is blocking their view. And so I end up having to move them back, and I have it taped off underneath. But it's kind of obnoxious, and I would love to have a set of speakers that I could put closer to the wall that will basically fix both of those problems. Same goes over here in this lazy boy. Yeah, it's blocked. And that's unfortunate. But I mean, it's a nitpick. It's not the biggest deal. It's not such a big deal to move them back. I wish the KEF LS50 Metas sounded better, a little closer to the wall, but where they are now is the sweet spot in my room, and they sound freaking awesome. So my two main problems with my setup right now, the speakers being moved 4 feet from the wall, blocking this person and this person's view to the TV, and me needing to move them in and out when I want to use them, which is, you know, fine. And then the other problem is my dog running at full speed and possibly tripping on those wires and knocking the speaker over on himself. He's not the most agile dog. He loves to run and he's fast, but he's not like a bunny rabbit. He's a big, goofy German Shepherd. Anyways, so I think to myself, how can I fix this? I would need speakers that, first of all, they don't need to be moved out 4 feet from the wall. Maybe just a foot or something like that. That would be ideal. So I start doing my research, and a couple of YouTubers have this speaker that I'm thinking about. And if you had seen my last video, I left an Easter egg somewhere in the video, and I let you guys know at the end about my next speaker purchase, potential speaker purchase. So one of you actually did find it, but had no idea what it meant. So I'll flash the picture here. So we've got a picture of a can of corn by the wall and the number 4. Corn, wall, 4. Corn, wall, you see where I'm going with this? Wall, 4. Corn, wall, 4.
Cornwall 4!
This is what I was looking into. Let's have a chat about it.
Klipsch Cornwall IV.
So there are 2 YouTubers that own the Cornwall 4s and gave them amazing glowing reviews. Both of these guys I trust tremendously. They are Steve Guttenberg, the Audiophiliac. The guy's a legend. I'll link his channel below. You probably already know it though. And the second is Joey G from Joey G's audio channel. Joe actually introduced me to the Blue Sound Node, which inadvertently started this YouTube channel. So shout out to you, Joe. Anyways, I wanted to go check out this Cornwall 4 and give him a demo and see what I thought. So join me.
Klipsch Cornwall IV.
I asked the salesman if I could bring in my Hegel H190 to do the demo. And he agreed, thought it was a great idea, but I wasn't about to schlep my heavy Venus 2 to use as a DAC, and I didn't want to depend on Hegel's internal. So I actually ended up bringing my Cord Mojo 2 that I just bought from the same store. There's going to be a review incoming, by the way, so make sure you're subscribed for that. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be one of my spicy takes. I really like this thing, but we'll talk about that in the next video.
It's Cornwall 4 demo day. Let's go.
So the demo room was perfectly sound treated and beautiful, to be honest. We set up my H190 and Mojo 2 with the Cornwalls. I connected the Mojo to my own iPhone and basically let my downloaded Apple lossless music library become DJ using random to play the music. Reason being, my phone is tethered to the Mojo with a 50 centimeter cord, and I was at least like 12 feet away from that rack. One thing I could do that was really cool was track forward and backwards on my Apple Watch. This came in really handy and I thought that was cool. First off was Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. This particular track starts off really quiet and then ramps up. Once I got to the louder part where my wife normally yells at me, says, "Turn it down," I was so impressed. A lady with blonde hair walked by, and I had the suspicion that she was going to do the same thing, ask me to turn it down, but no, she just was passing by in the hall, I guess. This listening session was my fun time. No one's going to take that from me, girl. Love, Reign Over Me by The Who. At some point in the song, I realized that I had left heavily edited EQ settings on the Mojo. This was meant to tame some treble and raise bass on my headphones. So I switched each of these parameters to off, and everything just opened up so much more. I'm picking out instruments in various parts of the room. The speakers sound so good. It feels like The Who are playing live to me with my eyes closed. It's just insane. Next track was Cantique de Noël, sung in Swedish. This was literally jaw-dropping. The female vocalist sounded beautiful. The room felt massive, and this came across as such an emotional piece. The same blonde-haired lady that I thought was going to bust up my loudspeaker party before, she came back and walked into the room this time. She was blown away as well. The salesman agreed and told her to stand right behind where I was sitting to get the full effect. It was so cool. These speakers make recordings sound live, and this was with my phone and the little bit obviously very capable Mojo 2 doing the conversion. I likey. Can't Sleep by K-Flay. This was the track that had me thinking, what am I going to do with my two subwoofers? Bass was fast and punchy, very clean, but very clear, and I felt it. These 15-inch woofers were working really nicely. Oh You Pretty Things by David Bowie. I explained to the salesman that I felt like there was a piano in the room. A real one, not speakers. I grew up with a piano in my house, and I don't think it's an easy sound to reproduce like this. This combo is just crazy good. Paper Planes by MIA. I love the sound of the gun getting cocked in this song. Great track. Lots of fun. At this point though, I feel like I'm taking up way too much of the salesperson's time. So I ask, and he's having just as much fun as I am, so we just continue. I sort of wish I connected a pair of KEF LS50 Metas to AB, but there's a massive difference. There's no question. It wouldn't have been fair at all. I played Learning the Blues by Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. This was so cool. That trumpet loves those horn speakers, and when Louis starts singing, effing magic. No Tomorrow featuring Sophie Lindinger. This one made me feel a bit high. Seriously. Inebriated. Maybe it was this lack of oxygen I'm getting from wearing this god-awful COVID mask. So many sounds coming from all over the place. It was really unique.
Now, keep in mind, this wasn't the first time that I've demoed three-way speakers. This was the first time that I've experienced speakers sounding like this. Basically unparalleled. I was blown away, and I still am.
Then I wanted to hear what poorly recorded music sounds like on these. So I selected Homeless Man in Adidas by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Man, I love this band, but not all of their work gets recorded so well. This was a perfect test. Yeah, it still sounds like crap, but it seems to be a bit more forgiving than the Metas, I think. I'm not sure. This was the only song where the metal in my chair's armrest started to vibrate like a lot. It was super weird. In order to redeem that band, I followed up with Catching Smoke, which sounded incredible.
So this was amazing. It's just amazing.
I listened to a couple more, but I'll end it here. I don't want to bore you guys. I will say that one remark my salesperson made that stuck in my head is he had never heard the Cornwalls sound better than they did with my Hegel H190. Now, keep in mind, they don't sell Hegel there. Part of me was like, really? And he said, yep, that integrated is magic. That combo sounds better than all the Macintosh amps that I've had hooked up to them. To me, this was crazy, but he was being sincere. I left that place glowing, much of the same way that I would traditionally feel after going to a big concert with friends. How crazy is that? That was my experience. Okay, I think to myself, what can I sell to get these ASAP? Oh, I'll be getting these. Oh, they will be mine. Make no mistake. I got home, I reinstalled the Hegel back into my media room at home and listened to love reign over me again. I'm done. Now, I want that same experience every time I listen. I'm ruined. My advice to you guys is don't go demo the Cornwall 4s unless you have the means to buy them on the spot. I don't know, maybe you're like a total masochist like me and like being teased at such a high level and then having to come back down to earth where we actually live. It kind of reminds me of my little guy days, going to pet shops with my mom, falling in love with a puppy and playing with it because they let it out, and then I have to leave empty-handed, tears running down my cheek. So what I'm trying to tell you is those Cornwalls are basically so cute puppies. I'm going to start a Patreon now. All proceeds go to these speakers and other things that I'll inevitably review and buy for my channel. I'd like to thank you guys for sticking around this long. It's been a crazy trip. Let me know if you've experienced something similar in the comments below, and please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
It's Cornwall 4 day. Demo day. I am Cornwallio. I need teepee for my bunghole.
Cornwall 4! Oh, sorry, buddy. I just ran over my dog.